So good evening. So you guys are getting my screen and voice. Please let me confirm. So you guys are getting screen and voice. Yes. So in last class we discussed a very important topic which is lambda functions. In last class we discussed about lambda functions. Very important topic. What is lambda function? A function does not contain any name. Such a type of functions are called lambda functions. A function, it does not contains any name. Such type of functions are called lambda functions. A function, it does not contains any name. Such type of functions are called lambda functions or anonymous functions. Such type of functions are called lambda functions or anonymous functions. If you want to write normal function, how you guys will write? Normal function should start with the def keyword. Def function name. Inside we have to pass arguments. Here we have to write some logic at here, and here we have to return the value. Right. So like this we have to write the normal function. If you want to write any normal function, compulsory it should be starts with the def keyword. After that we have to take one function name. After that inside parenthesis we have to pass the arguments. Finally we have to return the output like this. Right. This is the normal function. Suppose if you want to write a lambda function, how you guys will write? Right. Instead of def keyword, for lambda functions we have to take lambda keyword. We have to take. For normal functions, how we are taking def keyword? Same way for lambda functions we have to take lambda keyword. After that, for lambda functions we no need to take any function name. For lambda functions we need to take any function name. See, what is lambda function? A function, it does not contains any name. Such type of nameless functions are called lambda functions or anonymous functions. So here we no need to take any name for lambda function. Then what we have to take it here? After this lambda keyword we have to take arguments list. Arguments list we have to take like this. Right, after lambda immediately here where we are taking arguments, inside parenthesis we are taking the arguments. Coming to lambda function, after lambda keyword immediately we have to take arguments list like this. Next, colon expression. Here where we are writing the business logic, here I am writing the logic. Here I am writing the logic. But coming to lambda function, after argument list colon, here itself we have to write our logic. Here itself we have to write our logic expression. Lambda arguments list expression. So this is the way of writing lambda function. Here we no need to use any return keyword. Why? My expression itself will return the value. Here we no need to take any return keyword. My expression itself will return the value at here directly. Right? So by using lambda functions, we can reduce the length of the code. We can write very crispy code by using lambda functions. Right? So what is the main use of this lambda functions? Right? Reducing the length of the code. We can use this lambda functions as instant use. How we are using OTP numbers, one time usage. Same this lambda functions also we have to use for one time usage. right? So where we will use this lambda functions, right? We have some functions. Those functions always expects function as the arguments. A function always expects a function as the arguments. In that case, these lambda functions are best choice. What functions are there? Right, what functions are there which are always expects a function as the argument? Yesterday we explained, yesterday we discussed very clearly with the examples, and we have filter function is there, next map function is there, next reduce function is there. These functions always expects a function as the argument. These functions always expects a function as the argument. Clear? Yesterday we covered in detail what is a filter function, and we have seen some examples related to filter function. What is map function, and we have seen some examples. Reduce function with the examples we discussed in yesterday class. Is it clear? Right. So here a function, it does not contain any name. Such type of functions are called lambda functions or anonymous functions. How to write normal function? If you want to write any normal function, compulsory it should be starts with the def keyword. After that we have to take function name. After that inside parenthesis we have to take the arguments like this. Right. Next here what we have to write? We have to write the business logic. Finally, we have to return the value at here. But coming to lambda function, instead of def keyword, here we have to take this lambda keyword. After this lambda keyword, what we have to take? Arguments list we have to take. Right, colon expression. Whatever the logic you want to write, that expression we have to take it here. Here we no need to write any written statement. Why? My expression itself will return the value at here. My expression itself will return the value at here. Is it clear? Right, yesterday we covered all these things. What is filter function? Where we will use this lambda functions? Right, we have some functions. Those functions always expects function as the arguments. For in that cases, these lambda functions are best choice. This filter function always expect function as the argument. Map function always expects function as the argument. Reduce function always expect function as the argument. This is very, very important, and lambda functions are very, very important in entry room and our day-to-day programming also. Very, very important. All right. So now, today, what I am going to discuss. Nested functions. Nested functions. What is this nested functions? What is this nested functions? Sometimes, based on our requirement, we can write a function inside another function. Such type of functions are called nested functions. Sometimes, based on our requirement, we can write a function inside another function. Sometimes based on our requirement, we can write a function inside another function. Such type of functions are called as nested functions. Such type of functions are called as nested functions. Sometimes based on our programming requirement, we can write a function inside another function. Such type of functions are called nested functions. Nested functions. How to write nested function? Def f1, f1. This is the f1 function. Right, inside f1 function, I'm going to write one more function f2. f2 I'm writing it here. So now here I'm writing some logic. This logic is related to f2 function. This logic is related to f2 function. Right here, where we are writing this f2 function inside f1 function. This f2 function is local to f1 function. f2 function is local to f1 function. So we can't able to call this f2 function directly from outside. We can't able to call this f2 function directly from outside. Why? This function is local function to f1 function. If you want to call this function, first we have to create the object. We have to call this function. Then we have to call this function directly. We can't able to call this f2 function from outside. Here where I am writing this f2 function inside f1 function. Inside f1 function. Sometimes based on our requirement, we can write a function inside another function. Such type of functions are called as nested functions. So now see here I will explain. I will show one example at here. Here what I am taking. Here what I am taking. Here I will write one function like this. Def main function I am taking like this. Def main function I am taking like this. Inside this def sub function I am taking like this. Main function, sub function I am taking. Where I am writing this sub function? Inside main function. Inside main function I am taking this sub function. Right here, see, for understanding purpose, here I will write one print statement also. Print. This is a main function. This is main function. Right? So now here I will write one more print function, print statement inside sub function. Here I will write this is sub function. This is sub function like this. See here where I am writing this sub function inside main function. Inside main function. So this sub function is local to main function. This sub function is local to main function. So from outside we can't able to call this sub function directly. From outside we can't able to access this sub function directly. Why? Because where we have this sub function inside main function, first you have to access that main function, then you can go to this sub function directly. We can't able to access this sub function from outside. Where we are writing sub function inside main function. See, inside function, inside another function I am writing one more function or not. Inside main function I am writing one more function which is sub function. These kind of functions are called nested functions. See here, let me execute this program it here. Let me complete this here. Print. Here what I am going to do, main function is calling sub function. Main function is calling sub function. How it will call? Like this, sub function. Like this it will call it here. So like this it will call it here. So now observe very carefully. Here what I am going to do, here I am going to main function I am calling it here. So now here sub function also I'm calling like this at here. So now if I run this program, see and here what I wrote, here I wrote one function, def main function. Inside this function what I am writing, I wrote one print statement. After that, inside that main function only I'm writing one more function which is nothing but sub function. Inside main function only I'm writing one more function which is a sub function. Right? So after that, this print statement where I'm writing inside main function only. This print function is inside sub function. This print function is inside main function. Follow the indentation and observe indentation. Right? This print function is inside sub function. This print function is inside main function. This print function, this def function, this sub function, this print function, all are inside main function only. Right? Here what I am doing, main function is calling sub function. Main function is calling sub function. Now here, see, from outside I am calling main function and sub function. Here what we will get. See, if I run this program, immediately we will get a name error. See, Python sample 1006 .py. 1 minute, and program is not saved. What we are getting? Name error, name sub is not defined. Name error, name sub is not defined. Where we are getting this problem? See, right, file sample 1006.py, line number 25. Here, see, in line number 25, I am calling sub function. This sub is not defined. Without defining sub function, how you can able to access from outside? Right here, where we have this sub function, we have the sub function inside main function, not outside main function. If it is outside main function, we can able to access. But here, this sub function is inside main function. We have the sub function where we have inside main function. So we can't able to call that sub function directly like this. We can't able to call that sub function directly like this. And we can call main function directly. Why? Because main function like this we have, so we can able to call that directly. But inside main function we have sub function, so we can't able to call that sub function directly. Now if you run this one, what output you will get? See what we are getting? This is a main function. First, this is a main function. See here, this line got executed, right? So next, right, next what you are getting? Main function is calling sub function. See, after executing this line, it won't go to inside. It won't, this function won't be executed, right? If you want to execute this function, someone should call that function. If you want to execute this function, someone should call that function, then only that function will be executed. So here, no one is calling that function. So first this line will be executed. After that, directly the control will come to here. Main function is calling sub function. Here, main function is calling sub function. Someone should call that function, right? Here main function is calling sub function. Now the control will go to sub function and it will execute this line. And it will execute this line. See, whenever we call that main function, first control will come to here. First control will come to here. Right, this line will be executed. After that, here no one is calling sub function, so this sub function won't be executed. Now directly the control will go to here. Directly control will go to the here. Here main function is calling sub function. Here main function is calling sub function. Main function is calling sub function. Whenever main function called this sub function, directly the control will go to inside sub function. Inside sub function, whatever we have, that code will be executed. So here you will get, this is the sub function like this. Here output, what is the order of output you will get? First one, second one, third one. Like this you will get the output. Like this you will get the output, where we are writing this sub function inside main function. So we can't able to call this sub function directly, but inside main function we can able to call. Inside main function we can able to call. So here inside main function I am calling that sub function. You will get the output in this order. This is the main function. Main function is calling sub function. Then you will get, this is a sub function like this. See here what output we got it here. So here, this is the main function. Main function is calling sub function, and this is a sub function. Like this, you will get the output. Is it clear? Please respond. Is it clear? Right here, this sub function is local function to main function. Local function to main function. So we can't able to call this function directly from outside. If you call directly from outside, it will return name error. Name error it will return. Clear? Right. So, and one more thing. In interview room, there may be a chance to ask like this. So this is also one of the important point. There may be a chance to ask like this in interview room. So what they will ask, see like this. function is equal to main function. Function is equal to main. Okay, I will write it here otherwise. Function is equal to main. Function is equal to main function. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? There may be a chance to ask in interview. What is the difference between these two? Here, observe very carefully. Very, very important point, this one. There may be a chance to ask in interview. What is the difference between these two? See, here what we are doing, already I told one point. In Python, everything is object only, whether it is a variable or whether it is a function. Everything is object only in Python. So this function, this main function also object only. This main function also one object. This sub function also one object. Where is the proof? If it is object, compulsory it should contain some address or not. If it is object, compulsory it should contain some address, right? So now I am telling, this is main function and sub function, both are objects only. If it is objects, compulsory it should contain some addresses. So I will check these functions contains address or not, and these functions contains address or not. How we can able to check? See here, id of main function. If I take like this, now let me check what it will return. Very good, very good. Sorry, I forgot to put print, right? See, and here what it is returning? Is it returning address or not? Address it is returning or not? So can we say this main function is object or not? Yes, and this is object only. Same way, if you take like this, sub. See here also, okay. 1 minute. Sub is not, we can't able to call outside, right? Okay. Here I'm taking like this. Now see, here also we are getting address. So like this, here in Python, whether it is a variable or function or anything, object only. Here this main function also object only. So now observe very carefully. So now here what is my requirement? Now here remove this one, not required these things, just right. So now here f is equal to main function. So now what is the difference between these two? See, in first case what I am doing. So here in first case I am providing reference variable. Here in first case, I am providing another reference variable for main function itself. Here what I am doing, I am providing reference variable for this main function. I am providing alias name reference variable for this main function. But in second case, here in this case, we are providing another name for main function. We are providing another name, alias name we are creating for object, and here main function is one object. For that object, we can provide alias name. We can create alias name. For this main function, we are providing another name. That name is called f. That name is f. F is equal to main means what? For this main function, we are providing another name, another alias name. Right? What about this one? What about this one? See, in this case, right, main function will return some value, and here main function will be executed and it will return some value. For that, whatever this main function is returning, for that we are creating alias name, and here we are not providing alias name for main function, and after executing this main function, it will return some value. That value will come and assign to this f. So this reference variable will go for output which is returned by this main function. Here we are providing alias name or another name for main function returned function, main function returned object or any function or anything. And here what we are doing, we are providing another name for whatever this main function is returning. For that we are providing another name. So in this case, what we are doing, we are providing another name for this main function itself. But coming to second statement, after executing this main function, it will return some function. So for that, we are providing alias name. Is it clear? What is the difference between these two? I will show an example. And function aliasing, I will show an example. Is it clear? What is the difference between these two? All right. So now here, let me go for this. All right. Here next function aliasing means what? And providing another name, and providing another name for existing function. Function aliasing means providing another name for existing function is nothing but function aliasing. And providing another name for existing function. Yes. Providing another name for existing function is called as function aliasing. Providing another name for existing function is called as aliasing, and function aliasing is called function aliasing. So now observe very carefully. Here I am taking def message. I am taking it here. Def message I am taking some name I am giving like this, and some name I am giving like this. Right here, what I am going to write, just print hello name, hello name, welcome to Python classes. So like this I took it here. And hello name, welcome to Python classes. Like this I took it here. And right. So is this function or not? Is this function or not? And right. So now what I am going to do for this message function, I am going to provide another name. And I am going to provide another name. And alias name I am going to provide it here. How to provide this? See, like this. What I am doing, message1 is equal to message, and this message is the existing function. For this existing function, I am providing one more name, and I am providing another name of message1. Now here observe very carefully, and here both are pointing to the same object or not. And message reference, message1 reference, both will point to the same object or not? Yes, and same function providing alias name. For same function only I am providing alias name. So here it will return same address for both, and it will return same address for both. See here, print id of message. Next here, print id of message1 and message1. Here for both it will return same addresses. Why? Because object function is only one, and for that existing function only I am providing another name. Right? Suppose at your homes, and right, you guys may have some names, nicknames like Chinny, Bunny, like that, and right, your parents, if your parents call with your original name, you guys will respond. At the same time, if your parents call with your nicknames like Chinny, Bunny, same person will respond or not? Yes, and here also function is the same, but for this function we have two names. In that case, if you ask what is the address of message or what is the address of message1, same it will return or not? Yes, and same it will return. So now let me check it here. Now if you run this one, see, and both are same or not? 4263 4368, 4263 4368, and both are same, and like this it will return same addresses it will return at here, right? So now observe very carefully. Now if you want to execute this function, can I call this function with the message1 name or not? Right, we can call this a function. See, and here what I am doing, observe very carefully. This is my function, right? This is my function, right? For initially this function have this name, message name is there, and for this same function what I am doing, I am providing another name which is a message1, and so now if you want to access this function, we can call either with the message name or message1 name also. Either with message or message1, anything we can use to access this function. Right? We can call with either message or message1, both we can use it here to access this function. So now observe very carefully. Here what I am doing, see, here I will call like this, and here I will call message1 Raju. Right, same here, message also, message Ravi. And so now these addresses are not required for me. It's clear, right? Now I'm removing this part, right? So now see, observe very carefully at here. Right here, by using message and by using message1, by using both the names, I am calling this function. Now observe very carefully what output you will get it here. See, and hello Raju, welcome to Python classes. Hello Ravi, welcome to Python classes. You can call with any name, and you can call with right original name or alias name. You can call with any names, message or message one, no problem. Message or message one, no problem, and right. Message one is alias name for existing function only, so we can call with either message or message one, anything we can use to call this message function, right? Anything we can use it here, and anything we can use it here, right? So now what I am going to do, observe very carefully here. I'm going to delete this message, and I'm going to delete this message. So now after deleting this message, right, if I want to access the function, is it possible or not? Here what I am doing, delete message. After deleting this, right, so can I able to call that one with the message one or not? See here what I am doing, delete message. After deleting, I am trying to access that function with the message one. Is it possible or not? Yes, we can call, and see, no problem. See here what I am doing, this is my function. This function contains two names. One is message, another one is message one. Here what I am doing, just I am deleting this message was, just I am deleting this reference as it is we have, so we can call this function with the message one, no problem. But you can't able to call with the message got deleted already, so we can't able to access this function with the message name, but you can able to access with the message one name, no problem at here. See, hello Raju, welcome to Python classes. Hello Raju, welcome to Python classes. Am I getting or not? So now here what I will do, message of Ravi, like this I called. So now here if you run this one, you will get name error, name message is not defined. Already we deleted. After deleting, how you will get this message? We got deleted and we deleted that message. After deleting that message, how you will get that message? So that's why here we are getting name error, name message is not defined. Name message is not defined, you will get like this. Is it clear? Is it clear? Function aliasing. What is function aliasing? For existing function, we can provide another name. Such right is nothing but a function aliasing. For existing function, we can provide another name, and is nothing but function aliasing. Right. So here both references are pointing to the same function. In that case, both addresses are same. Right. Even if you delete one reference, by using another reference, we can able to access that function like this. Is it clear? Right. So now observe very carefully one more thing. At here. Here what I am going to do. Here same function I am taking it here. This is the main function. This is sub function. Main function is calling sub function. Now here what I will do, return sub I am taking like this. So now here what I am doing, f is equal to main function I am taking like this. F is equal to main function I am taking like this. So now onwards, this f. So like this I called it here, right? Like this I called it here. Now what output you will get it here? So now here observe very carefully. F is equal to main function means what, and right here this is the main function. Right? This main function, after executing this main function, what this main function is returning inner function. Sub is what? Sub is the inner function, and sub is the inner function. This main function is returning inner function. F is the alias name for inner function. Right? In this case, what I explained, right? I am providing another name for whatever this main function is returning. For that, I am providing another name. Here, what main function is returning? Main function is returning inner function. Inner function. Sub is inside main we have. So this return, what it is returning? Inner function. For that inner function, I am providing alias name. Alias name. So now, here if I run this program, what output you will get? F means what function is calling? Here F means now this F will point to what? Sub function. Now this F is here, what I am doing? I am providing alias name for this sub function. Now here you are calling sub function, you are calling sub function. So here what you will get? What output you will get if you run this one? Observe very carefully. One minute. See here what we are getting. First, this is main function. This is main function. Main function is calling sub function. Main function is calling sub function. Next here what we are getting? Right here, right, main function is calling sub function. It is returning this sub function only. Here 2 times I am calling f. So here 2 times this sub function will be executed, and here you will get 2 times this is the sub function, this is the sub function, like this. Right here we are creating another name for what? We are creating another name for inner function. Main function is returning some inner function. For that I am providing alias name. For that I am providing alias name. Here f function. Here f function like this means what it will return? It will execute. It will call this inner function. So 2 times it will execute. This is sub function. This is sub function, like that. 2 times this sub function will be executed at here. Is it clear? Please respond. Is it clear? Right here what we are doing, we are providing, see, and if you take like this, f is equal to main. If you take like this, we are providing another name for this main function directly. But here what I am taking, f is equal to like this, means after executing this main function, it will return something. For that I am providing another name. Here what main function is returning? Main function is returning sub function. So I am providing another name for sub function. So here I am calling with that reference. So which function will be executed? This sub function only will be executed. At return sub, why we are not taking parenthesis? Here if you take parenthesis, again it will what it means, and we are calling that function. Again if you take parenthesis, in the sense we are calling, but here I am not calling and I am returning that. Clear? Right. So next, so you guys have any idea about recursive functions? And so you guys have any idea about recursive functions? Return. What return, sir? What return? Return means what, and what is the purpose of return? If caller is expecting anything from the function, right, how we can able to return that? By using return statement. Right here, after executing this main function, some output I want to return, and how you can able to return? By using this return keyword only we can able to return. Here whatever it is returning, that one will go and assign to caller. Here who is the caller? F is the caller, and Here what this f is doing, f is calling this main function. So whatever this main function will return, for that one will come and assign to this f. Right. So now you guys have any idea about recursive functions? Recursive functions. Recursive functions and recursive functions. What is recursive function? What is this recursive function? Recursive function means a function calls itself, and a function that calls itself is known as recursive function. A function that calls itself is known as recursive function. A function that calls itself is known as a recursive function. Very good. And recursive means repetitively. And right, recursive means repetitive, correct only. Here a function that call itself again and again and again and is nothing but recursive functions. A function that calls itself again and again and again, right, is called as a recursive functions. Recursive function. What is the best example for this recursive functions? And the factorial of a number. Factorial of a number is the best example for recursive functions. Factorial of a number is the best example for recursive functions. So now here I want to find out factorial of 4 and factorial of 4 I want to find out. And for this, what is the formula? And n into factorial of n minus 1. N into factorial of n minus 1. Here n means what? 4. 4 into factorial of 4 minus 1 means what? 3. And 3. Again here what I am doing, equal to 4 into factorial of 3 means what? And 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1. So here 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1 means 2 you will get. Right, here again 4 into 3 into factorial of 2 and what? And factorial of 2 means what? And 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1. So here 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1 means 1 you will get. Here 4 into 3 into 2 into factorial of 1 means what? Factorial of 1 means what? And here factorial of 1 means what you will get? Factorial of 1 minus 1. Factorial of 1 minus 1 you will get it here. Factorial of 0. And here you will get factorial of 0 you will get it here. So now finally here what we will get? Here we will get 4 into 3 into 2 into 2 into, right, factorial of 0 means what? 1 and 1. So here 1 you will get like this. Right, what totally how much you will get? And 24 you will get it here. 24 you will get as the output. And see here what I am doing, repeatedly we are calling a function, and a function that calls itself again and again. A function, see here we are calling again. If you want to evaluate this expression, again we have to call factorial. If you want to evaluate this expression, again you want to call factorial. If you want to evaluate this, again you want to call factorial. A function that calls itself again and again is known as recursive function. A function that calls itself again and again, here you can take like this also. Itself again and again is known as recursive functions. Right, here factorial is the best example for recursive functions or not? And Right. So what is the main advantage of recursive functions? We can reduce length of the code and improve the readability. Whenever length of the code is reduced, automatically readability will get improved. Readability will get improved. And by using these recursive functions, we can solve complex problems also very easily. We can solve complex problems also very easily by using these recursive functions. Is it clear? Is it clear what is recursive functions? Right. So we'll see one example. And we'll see one example for these recursive functions. We'll see one example for this recursive functions and the factorial program only we'll see. Here I'm going to write one function, def factorial function. Factorial of x I am taking like this. Now inside this what I am doing, here I will take like if n equal to 0 I am taking like this, and here I will take output is equal to 1 I am taking like this at here. Right here I am taking output is equal to 1 I am taking like this. Otherwise, right here what I will do, right here I will take else. Inside else part what I will do, inside else part what I am taking, see, and here output is equal to what is the formula, n into factorial of n minus 1, and n into factorial of n minus 1. See here I will take, sorry, here x. So now here what I will do, here x into factorial of x minus 1, like this I'm taking it here. Right. So now finally return output. That's it. Right. If x value is 0, simply it will return 1 and 1 as the resultant. If x value is other than 0, it will come to here and it will evaluate this expression. Factorial formula, x into factorial of x minus 1, it will evaluate this expression, and output it will return. Whatever the output will come, it will return that one. So now here I will take print factorial of 10 is here what we have to do, I want to call that fact function at here. Here I am passing 10 like this. Now if you run this one, you will get what you will get it here. 1 minute. See, factorial of 10 is 3628800 something you will get. So now here factorial of 2 I am taking, simple. What you will get it here if you run this one? See, factorial of 2 is 2 only you will get. 2 only you will get like this. So like this, we can write a recursive function. What is a recursive function? A function that calls itself again and again. Such type of functions are called recursive functions. For recursive functions, best example is factorial. Factorial program is the best example for recursive functions. Is it clear? What is the main advantage of recursive functions? And we can reduce the length of the code and improve the readability and we can solve very complex problems also very easily. We can solve complex problems also very easily by using this recursive functions. Is it clear? Right. Good. Right. In next class, we'll discuss decorators and generators. We'll discuss it. Next class, we'll discuss decorator functions. Some more advanced functions are there, which are decorator functions, and for generator functions are there. We'll discuss those functions also in next class. Okay, guys. Thank you.